Pat saw you arm in arm with Shamar there, walking to the podium with the emotion of the result. Can you understand what it means for them and him on a day like today, a game like that?
Yeah, you can. We all debuted at one point, and he's starting out his Test career, and he's had a hell of a start. So, he's obviously still very excited, as he should be. He should be excited for a long time after those performances. But yeah, just saying, how he's, once he got the call up over here, he's really excited to play, and been following along for a few years. So, it's great seeing young talent like that, and he bowled the house down.
And it was going along so smoothly. What was the feeling in the dressing room as those wickets kept falling?
I think, yesterday we were pretty happy with, the day we had. We thought 216 or whatever we needed was quite achievable out there. So I think that was much the same feeling, but we've all played enough cricket to know that it can change pretty quickly. So any chase, whether you're chasing 50 or 350, is always a little bit nervy. But everyone was pretty calm.
When you watch Shamar Joseph run in, is there any aspect of you that sees a bit of your former self in him with, fresh into Test cricket and bowling fast?
I hadn't really thought of that. But, I think that kind of, that passion of when you're debuting and you just, you copped a big blow on the foot last night, but you just know nothing was going to stop him from bowling today. That's just raw. Someone straight in, just all he's focused on is trying to bowl fast and take wickets, and it's just, as a cricket fan, that's great to see.
Pat, have you had the feeling over the last couple of years that the bowlers have had to try and do too much of the batsman's work at times? You could have put matches away that you haven't?
I think there's been times where kind of batters have got us out of trouble, and there's times where bowlers have got us out of trouble, and I think that's probably been the story of this team over the last few years. I think even in the Pakistan series, there were so many little moments where it took a bowler or a batter to stand up, and we kind of found a way to win. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. This one, I think, these wickets have been tougher to score runs on than perhaps in the past. But, ideally, those kind of totals we are chasing down.
How was Steve after that, mate? Have you spoken to him at all?
Not really, just, no. I've been making it up. Just, bad luck, and obviously he's...
And just additionally, the ramp shot, did you know what was coming, and what did you make of his performance in general?
Ramshot, he plays it quite a lot, especially in the nets around T20 cricket, and he nails it. He's bloody good at it. So I wasn't overly surprised, especially with the field spread out and kind of short straight boundaries. But that was a hell of a shot. I thought he was fantastic. I thought, this whole series he's looked really sharp. But other than kind of two dismissals, they're about the only two balls he hasn't looked like he's middled. So he's class. He's been class for 15 years. So not overly surprised. But I thought he was brilliant the way he managed the innings then through the different kind of passages last night and then into today, and almost single-handedly dragged us over the line.
You obviously have, you reviewed the performance and all that kind of stuff, but can you kind of take a step back in that moment and, I guess, appreciate it as a piece of Test cricket and I suppose what it means for the Caribbean in particular? Yeah,
you can. Which isn't necessarily helpful because you're still hurting after a loss, but I mean, they outplayed us. They played brilliantly, and I know a lot of the talk was coming to this that there's some debutants and some names that haven't travelled over here before, but once you put out an international 11, it's going to be tough whoever you're playing, and they were fantastic. They've created a couple of new superstars that we didn't know about before the series, and as a cricket fan, as a Test match cricket fan, there's a part of me that was happy to watch.
I was just going to say, in terms of Shamar and his foot from last night, did you guys expect to see him bowling at all? Did you have a look at when he was warming up this morning and kind of looked quite ginger? What was the expectation?
Yeah, I didn't think he'd bowl. And then, this morning a couple of boys said he looks like he's going to bowl, so I was kind of going to be interested to see how he went about it, but maybe I wouldn't mind getting hit in the foot every now and then if it means the next day you're going to turn up like that. He was, impressive.
Well,
Pat, clearly a very fine margin, but given how close it was, does it give you cause to think as to whether declaring 9 down was the right call?
I mean, yeah, you never get to look at the other option, do you? I think we created 2 chances that night. Felt like at night was still the best chance to create a couple of wickets. So, yeah, you never look at the other option, but I felt like that played out pretty well.
And what did you learn from the match overall? I know it's you've got in due course, but what do you take out of it overall in terms of what the team can improve on?
I think probably first of all, those conditions yesterday were pretty oppressive. I thought the way we went about it, that was a real learning day, and really proud of how kind of managed the resources and took 9 wickets yesterday in pretty trying circumstances on a wicket that wasn't offering too much. So I think there's a couple of positives that would kind of go about it similarly if we were met with similar conditions. I think it just shows, like anything, you got to get yourself in. A couple of wickets that kind of non-traditional, couple down leg, which they happen, but you've got to try and find a way to get yourself into your innings. And I'm sure a couple of batters will look at a couple of ways that they'll dismiss, but also I think in the same way there'll be a few batters that kind of would say, these happen. And unfortunately, this match was a test match where 3 or 4 of the guys got out in non-traditional ways pretty quickly.
You mentioned the conditions just then, they were oppressive. It was very difficult. I noticed players coming off sort of fairly regularly. Is there a case for when it's, if there's a wet bowl temperature reading above a certain degree that you'd have more than one drinks break over the course of a session, situations like that?
Yeah, I thought that would be the case. But to be fair, the umpire was pretty lenient with the guys running on drinks on and off pretty quickly. So I think it kind of, in the circumstances, was managed as best as it could.
And the other thing, hindsight again, you can't know these when you schedule them, but 1-1 would have been great to have a deciding test. 2 test series kind of leaves quite a lot to be desired. Would you be more willing to push for more 3 test series like that?
Yeah, I mean, 2 always just seems like a bit of a funny number. I feel like I've played quite a few series lately where it's been 1-1 after two matches. So ideally, you're playing 3 test matches, but I know how packed the schedule is, and logistically how it's probably hard to manage. But as a cricket player, it'd be awesome.
Pat, Cameron obviously spent a lot of time out today. How have you felt his return to the side's been so far? Early days, of course, but how do you feel he's going so far? Yeah,
great. I thought yesterday he was just about the pick of the bowlers. I think he went for 37 off 10 overs, 1 wicket. I reckon he could have easily had about 3 for 10. He was fantastic. And then, batting today, I thought he looked really impressive. Thought he paced his innings nicely and was just looking to get going, and then got a ball that bounced a bit extra. And I thought, he played it beautifully. I thought he had a great week.
Okay, just one more on the way that Joseph was able to bowl. I know reference was made he was a young bowler before, but just I guess the head he has on his shoulders and the ability he seemed to have to kind of bowl in areas that, your top 6 batters in particular, obviously it's well analysed, where you should be bowling to guys, but just his ability to do that straight away as a young test player.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bowling high 140s, pretty good seam and putting in good areas, you're going to take wickets, and he did that for ball after ball with a couple of good bounces in between. So, really impressed. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of him.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.